So, over the past 18 months, there's been a lot of talk about recruitment over Zoom and on Teams environment. And as we're starting to transition back into the workplace and operate in a hybrid environment, what are some of the key themes that you're seeing emerge across the search landscape?
That's a really good question, Amanda. And what I would say is there are four themes that I would love to just touch on briefly. The first one, which is being talked about, is the Great Resignation. The second is diversity, equity, and inclusion. The third is sustainability, and finally, continued disruption. But let me just very quickly talk about each of those. There's a growing trend of employees voluntarily leaving their jobs looking for something different. So you may well have seen the McKinsey study where 40% of employees are saying they're likely to leave in the next 3 to 6 months. But even more worryingly, 64% of employees are considering leaving, so without another job to go to. But if we dig into that deeper, 54% are going because they don't feel valued by their managers, and 51% because they don't feel a sense of belonging at work. So there's this real need to feel part of something, and culture film's a big part of that. So I think the pandemic has gone on for a long time, and it's affected people both mentally and physically. So there's an enormous amount of reflection on career and our personal lives that is happening right now. On the diversity, equity, and inclusion front, this has become critical in every part of search activity as we're consistently being asked for diverse candidates on every slate. So that's gender and ethnicity, which are key priorities. In fact, I personally haven't completed a search without this as a key criteria in the last 18 months, and it will continue to be a focus moving forward. Thirdly, sustainability, the rise of the Chief Sustainability Officer, given all the environmental activism we're seeing. And finally, continued disruption. I think the way that we live and operate as we start to move into a hybrid environment will mean that disruption in the way that we work and the way that we want to interact with organisations and be part of organisations is here to stay for the long haul.